What's going on, guys? So it's been a while since I've done a live video again. So I thought I'd do one today. Yesterday I had a pretty interesting experience, and kind of tell you the backstory of kind of how it all came about. So as some of you guys know, I'm a national director of business development for a national HVAC company, heating, ventilation, air conditioning company. We only do commercial work. That's all we do. And so, anyways, I got contacted by this guy representing an organization called IFMA. I think it's like International Facility Managers Association, I think is what it stands for. It's relatively large, and he was asking me if I made the decisions for purchasing ad space for marketing and all the other fun stuff. And so, how can I move this? I guess I can't. What I decided to do is I was kind of curious. I told him, yeah, I do make decisions, but I have to sit down and talk with our CEO to see if it makes sense, etc. And so basically, I just kind of was listening to what the pitch was. And he didn't have all the statistics in front of him, so we scheduled a follow-up call yesterday. So the first call came in on, what's today, Wednesday? So the first call came on Monday, the second call came on Tuesday. So anyways, my initial call when I had with him basically was us discussing the ad. So he was telling me, he's like, hey, so we have ad space available that we want to sell to you. He's like, if you go to this website, I'll show it to you. We have 20,000 subscribers that are subscribed to our newsletter. And of those 20,000, roughly 40%, give or take, are opening the newsletter every single week. And I was like, well, that's interesting. That's not too bad. And so I was kind of curious, to learn more and just kind of see what he was going to say. And then I kind of started asking some more questions. But when he told me what the price was, it was like 16 grand for a year. And I was like, holy smokes. And then at first I was like, well, it is targeted. Like, this is our audience that we go after is facility managers. It might be worth listening to the conversation because it's such a targeted audience. And so I'm okay paying, ad space for a highly targeted audience, but where it gets really kind of complicated is my next question I asked him after I kind of listened to him. I go, what's your click-through rate? He goes, what do you mean? I go, what's your CTR? What's your click-through rate? Like, on these ads that you have that are currently on this newsletter that looks like it's web-based, because I even said that too. I was like, I noticed that your newsletter isn't like actually in the email, it's web-based. So they click on a link and then they just go to like a website or a page. They're like, yeah, pretty much. I'm like, okay. And so it doesn't keep people in the email. Not that it's good or bad, it's just what it is. And I go, what's your click-through rate? And he basically didn't have an answer. He goes, I don't know what the click-through rate is. But he's like, I can definitely set up a follow-up call with you tomorrow and let you know what the click-through rate is, and we can discuss that further. I'm like, that's fine, whatever. And so the reason I asked for the click-through rate is that if you've got a captured audience of 20,000 people, okay, and let's just say that 10,000, just make numbers easy, 10,000 people are opening that email on a weekly basis, okay, every week. In that newsletter, there's content about how to improve as a facility manager. There's news, there's all sorts of stuff, including ads, okay? And so, I'm thinking like, all right, if you got 10,000 people that are targeted, that are wanting to open this, they subscribe for this, and it has a decent click-through, I'd be intrigued. And I told the guy that. I was like, I'd be intrigued to listen to the offer more. I go, I know what the cost is, but to see if it makes sense. And so I go, because right now, I'm running ads as we speak and getting high click-through rates through Google Ads. And essentially, like we just did is we just scheduled a follow-up call. So if you guys are listening, you don't understand, like, hey, what's up, Cody? Kind of the whole like click-through rate. What that is like when you're doing marketing on digital platforms, so like Google Ads, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, like all of those they now have a metric that's called click-through, okay? And so your goal is to get as many clicks through to your site, to your page, that ad. So when you are running an ad and you have a low click-through rate and people say, well, ads don't work, well, it's because your ad sucks, okay? And so the reason I'm saying this is that high click-through rate allows you to get more traffic to your site. The higher your click-through rate, the more people are going to be going there. Now, algorithms are also designed on certain platforms that if you have a click-through rate that is higher than others, and then you're spending less money, but the other company is spending more money than you will trump over them because you have more valuable content to offer than, say, the person that was willing to spend more money. How you doing, Lucinda? So anyways, where I'm coming from is that click-through rate is like the number one metric I look at first when I'm looking at running ads, okay? So when I'm running ads on any digital platform, I want to know how many people are clicking through. And typically, like I guess you could almost say like business standard of click-through rate is anywhere from 1% to 2%. Now it can vary. Some industries less, some industries more, but it can vary, okay? And what makes a click-through rate go up is the call to action. You have an ad that's very catchy, has a strong call to action, and makes people move forward to the next page. Now, click-through rate is important, but what's even more important than that is your conversion, okay? So what an ad does once it actually converts. So like, person is scrolling through, Google, they see an ad, they're like, oh, it's interesting. They click on that ad, it goes to a landing page that's specific to that ad, and it sells them on whatever they want more information on. Then they basically become a lead or they purchase something depending on what the ad is offering, okay? And that's considered a conversion, all right? And so that has a lot of value. And conversion rates can really just depend from industry to industry. I mean, it can be anywhere from 5 to 10%. It can be as much as 25%. It can be 50%. But point being is that that's the next metric that you typically look at. Now, there's other metrics that you look at when you're running ads. The reason I'm telling all this stuff is because this is what's going through my head before he sends me the stats on the ads that are being, the ad space that he's trying to sell me. So yesterday, Tuesday, he sends me an email and he sends me 4 boxes, okay? And each box, it basically says week 1, this many emails delivered, this many opened, CTR, this many clicks for of links for the actual ad for that particular company. And then what the CTR was, and I think that was it. So he sent me 4 of them. And it looks like he didn't pick the best 4. He just picked 4 random ones. One click-through rate for one ad was 0.9 or 0.95. It was under 1%. Another click-through rate was 0.1, okay? 0.1%. So to kind of give you math on that, for every 10,000 views, every 10,000 people that saw the ad, 1 person clicked it. Okay, and that's not good click-through. It's just what it boils down to. Okay, so anyways, I was looking at this, and then 5 minutes later we had our call, and so I looked at the numbers. I was kind of running the numbers in my head really quick, and then we started talking on the phone. And I basically said, I just don't see the value behind purchasing ad space for your, for this newsletter. And he's like, how come? I go, well, your click-through rates aren't good. And I go, on top of that, do you even know what your conversion rates are? Do you educate your customer to set up some sort of pixel or some sort of Google tag or something so they can start tracking how many, these people are converting into paid customers, okay? Or into leads or something like that. Because if they're converting at a high rate, even though the click-through rates are low, it'd be intriguing. It'd be like, yeah, I'd listen. So anyways, I told him, I go, your click-through rates aren't very good. I go, your best one's at 0.9, maybe 0.95, and your other ones are at 0.1, 0.15, 0.2. And again, I told you that the goal for most marketers is roughly 2% or more. Okay, so for every 100 views of that ad, you want 2 people to click it. That's kind of what you're shooting for. Okay, and so he was well below that number. And think of it like this. If you're spending $16,000 a year, okay, and so that's about $1,300 a month, all right, and you have, if you're getting, I don't know, 10 clicks a month, you just paid $130 roughly per click. $130 per click. Now, because that's $1,300 a month. And of those $130 per click, you want to know what converts into a paying customer. So I was telling the guy, I was like, listen, I have better click-through rates for ads that I'm running on Google right now. They're anywhere from like 4 to 5% to as high as 10%, depending on the ad and the keywords that we're targeting. And then he tries to go on to, he's like, that's amazing. You must, have some, really strong call to action, etc. And he's like, what we could probably do is we can collaborate and create an ad that really works for you that has a strong call to action. And I basically stopped. I go, well, that's my problem though, is that you guys aren't tracking click-through rate, and nor are you educating your customer to actually improve the click-through rate of their ad. So if you know having a strong call to action is going to get more clicks onto the ad, then what you should do, especially if someone's spending that kind of money, is educate them and design the ads as, what's going to be something that's going to improve the click-through. That's going to get them to have more clicks to those sites. Because if that improves the click-through, then you're going to have more people getting more sales, and people are going to be willing and wanting to give you $16,000 a year because they're getting more click-throughs, you're getting more sales, etc. So that's what I was trying to tell them. I go, why would I want to collaborate with you to do this when you should already be doing this? Like, this should be part of the, part of how you sell your package. I go, I don't trust, giving you that kind of money, and I'm the one telling you how to design the ad. And even though they have design services, they design the ad however I want, they can update as much as I want. Like, none of that stuff meant anything to me, because if they weren't even helping their own current customers to improve their click-through rate, what were the chances of them actually doing the same thing for mine? And so he goes, well, the other part too, it's branding. It's like branding is a really important thing. I go, totally get it. But if I want to do branding, I can brand my company at a fraction of the cost by literally pulling I'm losing my track of mind right now. By literally pulling facility managers, my audience that I'm targeting on Facebook or on LinkedIn with those job titles or interests, okay? And literally target those people, which is going to probably be like, 50 to 60,000 people maybe, all right? I can literally target those people, run a video ad, and pay 3 cents for a 3-second view. 3 cents, okay? And I told him that. And so I go, so branding, even though you have a targeted audience, that's great, but like, if your click-through rate isn't high, why would I want to spend 16 grand on your targeted audience? I go, what that tells me is that no one really cares about the ads, they care about the content. And so that doesn't mean that I'm going to be getting anything out of it. He goes, well, maybe what you need to do is you need to be writing, sponsored ads for like, content marketing that goes to like a blog post and stuff like that. I go, yes, that's great, but again, it doesn't solve what I'm looking for. And so the last push that he had is like, well, I don't even know what he called it. He repackaged the word for it. He's like, but it's like if someone's searching, for a service in, of your competitor in your industry or area, and they basically don't move forward with them, and let's say they're just searching on Google or YouTube, then we can run ads to those people as well too. And we can help you with that. I was like, that's basically intent-based branding. I go, I know exactly how to do that. It's just retargeting. It's nothing special, and it's not something that I'm willing to pay for, because we already do that ourselves, and I know how to set it all up correctly. And so I go, I'm sorry, man, but I just don't see the value behind me paying 16 grand for this particular ad that you're trying to sell me, and you don't have a high click-through rate, and I'd be the one trying to tell you guys how to create the ad correctly. And so this is where I'm coming from is it worth it to actually pay a large association that has a targeted audience, high money, like high ticket money of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 to run ads on either their newsletters, their website, their monthly magazine, whatever? Is it valuable? And in my opinion, it's not, especially in today's day and age of social media, search engine optimization, search engine marketing, all that stuff. The reason is that has leveled the playing field for people like us in our company, in our business, to actually run targeted ads to a targeted audience based on metrics that really matter, and then we can make changes literally on the fly, okay? And so by running ads on old mediums, it's not gonna make sense. And I don't know if this kid understood what I was trying to get to. I didn't tell him all that stuff, but it just basically boils down to is that if you're, running a business and you get approached to buy ad space for those places like coupon books and stuff like that, it's not worth it, because those audiences are already captured in other digital platforms, and more people are actually prevalent to use a digital platform versus paper, okay? More people are more likely to be scrolling through Facebook than reading a newsletter. Yes, people probably open it, and that's great, but I would rather be the person providing the newsletter on my email list and having them see my company every single time, providing value about HVAC for their commercial buildings, all that stuff, and not selling ad space anywhere else. And so where I'm getting to is that when you're spending marketing dollars, you need to really evaluate to see what your return on investment is. And I know ROI is such a cliche word to use, but like, you want to know what your return on investment is, not necessarily like how many leads you're going to be getting. You want to know what your click-through rates are. So like whenever you're running ads on Google or Facebook, what you're doing is that you're basically buying a person's attention. You're paying for someone's attention. That's what the ad is for, is that you're hoping to get someone's attention, and then you're hoping that when you get their attention, they click on the link and then, or the ad or whatever, and then they go to your website, and you hope that you have enough valuable content on that site to have them just trade in their email address or contact information in exchange for a widget. The widget can be like 5 ways to lose weight or whatever you want it to be, or, here's how you sell this pen, so that's where I'm coming from is that is how you want to run ads. So running ads like this, like they don't educate you on how to like create a landing page, where to send the traffic, what the best way is to convert. If they would do all those things, if they said, this is our average click-through rate, it's 2.5%, because we always have strong calls to action. On top of that, we help you design your landing page having these key things on here. And on top of that, after we do that, what we do is then we educate them, our customer, to make sure that you give them some sort of lead magnet, or in exchange some sort of widget or something. And after they opt in for that lead magnet or widget, then you nurture them in an email campaign. Do you see what I'm trying to get to? Like, this company is selling ad space and that's it, but they're not taking the actual full life cycle of the prospect to customer through that entire path. That is important. So what I'm getting to is, if a company doesn't offer the full life cycle of getting you in front of the customer that you're looking for, all the way through to how to convert it into a paying customer, they're just looking to take money from you. That's just my opinion, all right? What a company like this company, this association, should have done is done that. They should have said, we do this, 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 and this is why we can charge $16,000 a year for this ad space, is because our conversions are through the roof. Because if the click-through rates and conversions were through the roof, I'd be talking to my CEO. I'd be like, listen, this is a really good deal. Like, they have an audience of this many, 10,000 people open it a month. They have a click-through rate of 5%, which is, 5% of 10,000 people is, 500 people, I think, or I don't know. I don't have a calculator in front of me. And then like of those 500 people, they convert 10% into like actual leads and all this other stuff. Like, that would make sense. But since it doesn't, they don't do that. Why would you pay someone else to do that? You can take $16,000. I mean, you can do a lot with $16,000 and literally run targeted ads to your specific audience. So in my case, facility managers, property managers, hotel GMs, I can run ads to that specific audience, each one categorized, anywhere in the US, okay? And I can run those ads. I can track my click-through rates. And if it's not high enough, I can then change the ad. I can, I can change the verbiage, I can change the title, I can change the image, whatever it is, I can change something. And then once that click-through rate gets up to the point where I need it to be, and if I'm not getting conversions, then I can start altering the actual landing page. I can start making changes to that. Maybe include a widget. Maybe, give something else, something of value. And eventually, those click-through rates are going to go up higher and higher and higher because you're hitting the right target audience with the right messaging. And then on top of that, your sales are going to start increasing. So that's kind of where I come from is that I don't think it's worth paying for advertising space at a targeted audience through an association, okay? Even though they have a targeted audience that you're going after, not worth it. You can get those same exact people, okay? You don't have to get their email addresses, but you get those same exact people on Facebook, okay? You can get those same exact people on LinkedIn. You get those same exact people on Instagram, okay? And it's just a matter of targeting your audience correctly. So anyways, I thought that was an interesting thing. I don't know if I ticked him off or not, but I was honest, I was polite, but I was like, I just don't see the value behind this, man. I just don't see it. And it's just kind of what it boils down to. So hopefully you learned something about how to improve your marketing, how to improve your sales. There is a process. Like, don't just throw money at something hoping it's going to solve a problem. Like, you need to know everything. And if you want to learn more about click-through rates, literally type in like click-through rate ads for Facebook, or like industry standard, or like something like along those lines. You'll start seeing the average for each industry is this much, and it will show you stats. And these are legitimate stats. And then so you just base it off of that. I've run ads on Facebook for like 2% click-through rates to as much as 5% click-through rates, which is like through the roof. And I've run ads well below 1%. I've killed those ads. So at the end of the day, you got to be smart on how you market. So looking at numbers is going to allow you to decide whether you keep an ad or not, okay? And that flexibility has changed the game of marketing and sales, okay? Because it's not just marketing, it's sales. Has changed the game immensely, okay? Completely changed the game, all right? When days before, years before, you would pay, a high number for a targeted audience and nothing would happen, okay? And now you can do it at a fraction of the cost. And I mean, it's insane. It's amazing. So hope this helped. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer any kind of questions. You can always just send me a message on Facebook, or you can follow me on LinkedIn. I'm quite a bit on there now. It's just because of our business now, but I'll be doing some more stuff on Facebook. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Talk to you guys later.